is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. The voice is a little bit better, but not perfect yet. Yeah, I'm still coughing. If my throat dries out, I'm going to start coughing. So if you hear that, you'll know what's going on. So anyway, current temperature is about 35 degrees outside. It's 9:08 in the morning. I'm going to do my daily run as I usually do. But I thought before I head over there, I'd pull over to the parking area I usually go to at the park and just sit there and talk a little bit. Then I'll head over there. So what's happening in the world of e-bikes? Well, I have another e-bike coming in today, and that's expected in about between 11:30 and 1:30. So this time they gave me a shorter time window. Usually they say 10:30 to 2:30. But yeah, I actually pushed this one off by a couple of days. They wanted to deliver it on a Saturday, but I had things planned on Saturday, and I wasn't going to be home, so I had to put a vacation hold on it. Here's the thing with vacation hold, okay? Let me tell you, in case you have to do this when you pick up or when they deliver your e-bikes and you're not going to be around. So they wanted to do it on Saturday, so I says, well, I can't do that. So on Friday, I went in there and said, vacation hold from Saturday through Monday. Really what I wanted them to do is deliver on Monday. Well, if you say Saturday through Monday, they won't deliver until Tuesday. All right, today's Tuesday. So if I wanted it Monday, what I should have said is vacation hold Saturday and Sunday. Then they will deliver on Monday. You live and learn. So it's been sitting on hold for the last 3 days, and they're going to do the delivery today. All right. So this bike that's coming in is from a company I've worked with before in the past, but I haven't had a bike to review from them in a while. So when they asked me if I would be interested in reviewing the most recent bike, I said yes. I will do it. Waiting for this car to pass up here. It's going kind of slow. I have a truck doing something. I don't know what this truck is doing. Anyway, so that's coming in, and then I will do that review. However, I still have the two other bikes to review first. So the bike that had the damage from FedEx, yeah, the replacement of that bike has come in. Yeah, it's been in for nearly a week now. I just couldn't do anything because my voice was so messed up, and the weather hasn't been the greatest. Although we did have one day of decent weather. That would have been Saturday, but I had plans, so I couldn't do it then either. And besides, I couldn't talk well. I still can't talk very well now as it is, so I've really been waiting for my voice to get better and for me to stop coughing and blowing my nose and all sorts of stuff. So thank you to everyone who's been sending me advice on how to get better. I've looked at the things that you've offered. I can't do all of it, but I've at least taken a look at it, okay? That's about all I can tell you. But thank you for thinking of me and sending me things to try to get me back up in running order. I got to turn here. So anyways, I'm going to do, well, of the three bikes, since the new bike is coming in today, that's not going to be done today, the first one. That's going to be the last of the three. I got to do it in order sequence of when the thing came in, otherwise that's gonna get out of control. So the review bike first will be, I believe will have to be the one that FedEx had damaged, and I got the replacement for. I'll do that one first. And then, I better straighten out a little bit better. It's a little bit off. Doesn't matter. There's nobody here. So anyway, I'll do that one first. And then the second one I'll do is the U-Free Stellar Falcon. Yeah. We all know what the Stellar Falcon is. I was riding that for the whole year last year anyway. So the only difference is just some modifications that were done. And I've already explained that in that short 2-3 minute music video thing that I did. So you kind of know what to expect. But I think what most people are waiting is to find out, is it a quiet ride and how does it feel? So, even though specifications change a little bit, they improve this, improve that, change this, change that. The real question is how does it feel? All right. Now, the one thing that I know from the Stellar Falcon that I didn't put down in that video is handlebars. All right. Now, if you have the step over version, which is what I have, you have the traditional straight handlebar that the Stellar Falcon originally came with. But if you go to the I guess that one would be considered a mid step, the step over one that I have, because it is lowered. Okay, so if you have the mid step, it's going to be a straight handlebar. If you go to the step through version, then you're going to get a curved back handlebar, and that kind of makes sense because if you're doing a step through, you're looking for the comfort of it, and not having to swing your leg over and everything. So it makes sense that they put a curved handlebar similar to like the City Robin handlebar. They put that on the Stellar Falcon. Okay, so that is a change for those who want a step through version. Now, I've had the step through and I've had the mid step version. Right, I had the red one, which is the mid step, and then I had the black cherry version, which was the step through. And last year's versions were all straight handlebars, but this year's versions will switch over to a curved handlebar if you get the step through. There you go. I wanted to clarify that. I'll clarify that again on the actual review. Oh, by the way, I mentioned before about this Owala water bottle that my daughter gave me. She gave me this rubber boot as well. Get a boot, right? Makes a big difference. Keeps it from sliding off the table. And because this is metal, when you put it down, you hear how it rings? It would ring a lot more if you didn't have the metal boot. All right? So if you bump into little things, it's going to ding, The rubber boot keeps it from sliding off the table and stuff too. It's much better. Now, putting it in the cup holder of my car, it doesn't go all the way in now because of this rubber boot. So it kind of sits like this, but the rubber boot is so tight because it's rubber, no fear for it tipping over. It stands up a little taller in the car now. So anyways, if you're interested in one of those things, I'll put a Amazon link for you in the description of the video, and I'll put the rubber boot link in there too. I think it's like $9 extra for the boot. A lot of money, but it was worth it. Yeah, definitely worth it. Still coughing. Gotta get water, I tell you. What I like about it, they have the straw is built into this, so you could sip it like a straw version, like I had been doing here, or you can tip it because there's a hole here too, so you can drink it like a regular water bottle. I like using the straw. Lock that in place. This is a handle. It kind of goes like this, but this also locks in place so this thing can't fall out. I use it as a handle more than anything so I can carry it around. But yeah, it's a good water bottle. It's only really designed for cold water. It's not really designed for anything hot. Okay, I guess they said stainless steel things like this are really best for just cold water. And they don't want you to put carbonated anything in there or anything like that. It's just cold water, okay? All right. So what else has been happening in the world of e-bikes? Well, I was looking through some of the various offerings of e-bikes this year. I'm noticing a lot more commuter style / hybrid type bikes. Yeah, I think that's going to be the hot thing this year, all right? I mean, I still like my 4-inch fat tire bikes, don't get me wrong, but the thinner tires are more nimble in general. You can maneuver these bikes a lot easier. And for a guy like me who rides mostly on the street, as you know, it actually works out better than the big 4-inch fat tire bikes. At least for me, it does. I mean, like the new U-Free Stellar Falcon, the City Robin, they have thinner tires. And then, Lectric just came out with that, the Tempo. The Tempo tire is so thin, it's like your typical road bike, right? For those who don't know, that would be your typical, like what we used to call 10-speed bikes with the really thin tires. It's kind of like that. I mean, having ridden that bike, I kind of feel like, wow, this brings me back. Reminds me of the days in high school when I was riding my old 10-speed bike. I used to ride my bike to go to karate training all the time. I would lock my bike up in front of the school on the light pole. Yeah, until the teacher finally said, "Why don't you lock that up in the back of the school instead of sticking it out in the front of the building?" The thing is in general, if you're gonna lock your bike, you want to put it somewhere visible, because that in itself is a deterrent. You stick it in the back of the school building, anyone could be in there messing with it, right? Nobody ever did, but still. Just some tidbits to remember when you're locking your own bike. In fact, let me talk a little bit about locking e-bikes. People have asked me, what do you use to lock up your bike? Well, here's the thing. I don't usually leave my bike anywhere. They say when you go to Costco, how do you lock it up? I don't ride my bike to Costco. I've ridden my bike to Costco just to look at the building. We've done that before. We did the Mount Prospect Costco that way. We kind of rode by it, but I don't leave my bike anywhere. The only time I've ever left my bike is, well, 2 times I did. I did it once in front of the Chinese carryout, okay, and I locked it up. One time I even brought it into the Chinese carryout. I mean, they know me there. They see me often enough. I just pushed it in, got my stuff, and pushed it out. It was what was it? It was a Moon Cool cargo bike I brought in. Think about how big that thing is, right? So anyway, she just kind of looked at me and didn't say anything. I mean, I'm not going to be there that long. I'm just picking it up and getting out of there. So it wasn't worth the hassle of trying to lock it up. But I did lock it up one time, and it wasn't, maybe it was that same bike. Yeah, it might have been. Anyway, the second time I went to a grocery store locally, and I took the Himiway Rambler, the mid-drive bike, and then I took an EBIKES bike lock. It's kind of like those folding type bike locks. And then I locked up the frame. Now, I didn't lock up the front wheel and all that stuff. I was only in and out of there really quickly. Plus, the bike was left directly in front of the big picture window of the grocery store. So anyone who would have messed with that bike, everybody in that store would be able to see you messing with it. And for you to get that folding bike lock off, you would have to use an angle grinder, which is loud. If you were doing that in front of a grocery store with a big picture window, that's pretty brazen. So I didn't worry too much about it. And I was in and out of there. I just bought like two sweet potatoes, I think it was that day. And then I got in and I got out. That's the only time I've ever really left my bike alone. Typically, I am always with the bike, so I don't usually lock up the bike. But I do have 2 major locks. That would be the EBIKES bike lock, which is like the folding style bike locks. I also have a similar version of that from Lectric. I have one of those from Lectric. I had one from, I think Ufree gave me one too. Yeah, I think they did at one time. And then also I've had one from Electric Bike Company. They gave me one as well. But currently what I still have is I have Lectric's folding bike lock. It's on one of the electric bikes right now. And then I have the EBIKES bike lock, which is pretty expensive. That's a little stronger, but it's more expensive. And then I have a really thick chain, which is made by Kryptonite. Yeah, it's not the thin one. It's the super heavy duty one. And the thing weighs a ton. And of course the lock, the Kryptonite lock that goes on that. The problem with the D style locks, or what they used to call the U or D, depending whether you look at it as a U or a D style lock. It's hard to sometimes lock a big, thick, heavy bike using that. Yeah, and especially if you want to get it in front of your front wheel as well as the frame, it's not going to make it, okay? It just won't make it. So your best bet would be, like one of the big heavy-duty chains, or something like the folding bike locks. The folding bike locks, I would augment that with a cable. I would put the cable through the folding bike lock and also through the front wheel. And now that's easy to break through and steal your front wheel, but it'll stop the guy who, doesn't have tools with him, but he sees a bike and he sees like it's a quick release hub. I can just take the tire real quick. It'll stop that guy, but it won't stop a guy who really wants to steal your bike. Okay. So be aware that, they can defeat pretty much any of the locks that are out there now. Yeah. It's not, an angle grinder will grind through any of that stuff. But again, it's loud and noisy. So you have to kind of remember, where am I locking this thing? Am I locking it where everybody sees the bike? Then you probably won't have to worry as much about the angle grinder issue. I mean, unless they're really brazen, they don't care and they're going to go steal it anyway. But if you're going to park a bike like overnight somewhere, yeah, it'll probably be gone. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. So anyway, that's all I really have to say in terms of locking your bike somewhere, because the question has come up several times. I just haven't addressed it as much. But yeah, I don't leave my bike anywhere. Yeah. I mean, if you can roll it into a store with you, I'd do that. I'd rather than leaving the bike out there. Yeah. I have also ridden it to the P.O. box, where I've chained a bike directly in front of the big picture window again, just out by itself, and I would chain the front wheel to the bike frame, and that's about it. But I'm literally right there, and I'm looking at it the entire time when I go to get my mail. All right. So that's the only times I would leave my bike. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, you're talking quick. But yeah, thieves are pretty quick too. They can steal things pretty fast. So yeah, don't do that. The problem too is because of that, I think that's what makes me hesitant in taking my bike out to do certain type of errands. And I'll still take my car because I keep worrying about the bike being stolen. I think the best bikes to just leave somewhere is bikes that look so beat up that nobody wants it. I told you the story before about the old Chinese guy riding the bike. Remember that? He turns out to be my father-in-law in the future, right? Well, he used to ride the bike to go grocery shopping all the time. He'd never lock his bike up. No, never did. He'd just walk into the store, do his thing, jump back on the bike and leave. And nobody ever messed with it. Why? Because that bike was the most beat up looking bike I've ever seen in my life. No one's going to mess with that bike. Who would want it? Yeah. Who would want it? But for him, it got him where he wanted to go. He never locked it up. Just walked in, did his stuff, walked out. Yeah. Best bikes to ride are bikes that are so beat up that nobody in the world wants it. I don't have any bikes like that. Gotta open this up. Yeah, I don't have any bikes like that. All of my bikes are pretty nice. So yeah, that's why I don't take it anywhere. Yeah, I just ride for the fun of riding. Yeah. Other people ride for the fun of riding and also for the utilitarian usage of it, right? So that they can actually do something with it. Yeah, then you got to lock things up. Yeah, you got to be careful. You can get a good lock, but they're heavy. That's the problem. So, all right, I think it's time for me to head over to Costco. So let's go and do that. Start the car up, pull out. Yeah, I'm still coughing. You know, if I talk too much and my throat starts to dry out, I'll start coughing. Gotta always have water or something with me. Yeah, I haven't even been in Costco that much in the last couple weeks because of the sickness. Yeah, I'm not doing well. Let me turn on the heater. It's a little cold. The thing is that I've mentioned before. I don't remember what you get to see and hear, because sometimes I record things and I don't upload it. I don't think it's good enough, so I don't use it. But I have mentioned, I know I've said it, I don't know whether you heard it. Since the repair of this car, the heater and the air conditioner has not worked well. In fact, the air conditioner doesn't even work now. And I think it has to do with something that they did when they replaced the engine. Either they disconnected something and didn't reconnect it or something, but it doesn't run. And it's going to start getting hot eventually. So I'm going to have to bring the car in again and see if they will do something about it without charging me. They really should. I mean, they charged me for that one repair that, I mean, it was an engine update thing, right? And then they changed the whole engine. So why did they charge me for the engine update if they're going to change my engine anyway? I mean, what am I supposed to do? So I think I'll talk to that same service writer and say, what can you do for me? Because there was nothing I could actually check in the air conditioner because it's been winter time. And the very first chance I get to check the air conditioner, and it doesn't work. It was perfectly fine before I brought the car in. It's back in November. And the heater, I can hear the fan. I don't know. I think they messed up my car. Is really what I think they did. I can't fix cars like I can fix bikes, okay? And even fixing bikes, I prefer not to do it, even though I probably can. I'd rather have someone else take care of it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a bike mechanic. I just like to ride the bike, all right? Just like everybody else. But if I'm stuck somewhere and there's no one around to fix it for me, can I fix it? Yeah, I can. I just don't want to. I shouldn't have to. And I don't want to. That's what it boils down to. You know, when you get old, you just don't care anymore. It really is. That's the case. When I was younger, I'd be tinkling with the stuff until it was fixed the way I wanted it. Yeah, I'm too old. I don't want to do that anymore. All right, let's turn over here. Now it's starting to get hot. So it doesn't, I can't put it on auto. I guess I could put it on auto. Let's see if that works. Auto is supposed to choose your heating and air conditioning, all that. I don't know if that even works anymore. It's so messed up. I don't like it when people are messing with my stuff. Yeah, because it never comes back the way you want it, right? Let me know in the comments, you know, have you brought stuff in and they just messed it up worse? I think that's what they did. Yeah. Time for a new car. Well, I wish I could. I don't have the funds to buy another car. Well, gotta stick with what I got. You know, this is all I can afford to do. So, you know, the thing is once you retire, you get to be more of a penny pincher than I'm already a penny pincher. Penny pincher. Hey, there's not even pennies to pinch anymore. How do you like that? They don't even make those anymore. Well, they still circulate around, but yeah, there's no new pennies being made. Pinch that thing. Penny pincher. Yeah, well, hey, you got to make your dollar stretch. Who comes up with these phrases? Stretch your dollar. Pinch your penny. All right, that's about all I got for you guys for today. I think I've given you enough. Anyways, keep an eye out for the new reviews once they start coming. I will try my best this week to do at least one of them. Yeah, I think if the weather is decent and if it doesn't rain on me, I can jump out and do the review real quick. I've already ridden the bike, right? And it was kind of cold when I rode it. I have to do a preliminary test. I told you guys, I always test the bikes out first, get my impressions of the bike, and then I do the review. So I've already done the impressions. Froze a little bit when I was out there checking it out, but I did it while I was sick. And then the review will come out. So keep an eye out for that. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.